Well, hi there. Welcome to Professor Snyder's, that's me, Music Biz News. In a previous episode, I had talked about how Universal Music Group and Spotify had come to an agreement that Universal Music Group was classifying as Streaming 2.0. Warner Music Group came to an agreement to Spotify soon after that. Again, under this title of Streaming 2.0, in other words, the next level of music streaming with Spotify and the record labels. And the agreements were pretty similar, so I won't go into the details. The Warner Music Group deal appears to build upon the framework established by the Universal Music Group agreement, suggesting a trend in the industry towards more collaborative and innovative partnerships between streaming services and major music labels. Both deals aim to shape the future of audio-visual streaming and enhance the value of music, indicating a shift towards what the industry calls Streaming 2.0. So the biggest news is the creation of a new premium tier that all three, the record labels and Spotify, are looking at creating based on, and I've talked about this in a previous episode last year, the category of a super fan. The biggest music industry buzzword of 2024 seems set to be superfans, as labels and artist teams seek ever more ways to gather together the biggest fans of their musicians, enable their creativity, and inevitably make some more money in the process. Focusing on superfans is really important. Most sources conclude, based on the definition of the market and what constitutes a superfan, that maybe 15 to 20% of music listeners are in this category, said UMG's digital boss, Michael Nash. So you now have hundreds of millions of subscribers, and maybe 20% of those subscribers are the market for a super premium tier at a higher price point. We've tested different product configurations for that, and we're excited about what we might be able to develop with our platform partners. So here are some of the differences between the record label's idea of this tier, premium tier, and Spotify. Universal is going to create super premium tiers that will be built into the streaming services and their alignment with these companies like Spotify. Warner Music Group is creating an app, an exclusive app for their artists, and it's a standalone superfan app in which superfans engage with the artists through experiences, products, and perks. And Spotify is creating its own super premium tier, and they're calling it the Music Pro tier or Superfan Premium tier. I'm not sure which yet. So this list I'm about to go over was actually created for me by Perplexity, which is an AI company that went through all these articles that I found and come up with a list of the most common perks that you'll find in these super premium tiers for superfans. So one of the features is higher quality audio. Don't forget that Tidal and Deezer already offer high quality audio, and their subscription rates haven't necessarily gone through the roof. If anything, they've been sort of suffering. And also Amazon and Apple both already offer high quality audio. So I don't know that that's going to be very attractive for people to pay extra, except for the critical golden-eared audiophiles amongst us. Another perk is early access to new tracks and forms of premium content. The idea that Billie Eilish is putting out a new record, and if you're a member of this premium level, you can actually listen to the tracks before they're publicly available, which of course, if they are released, I'm sure that they would immediately be leaked out to the rest of the world by these premium subscribers, one way or the other. But and other content that would only be available to the premium people. It's sort of like buying the super deluxe box set of Dark Side of the Moon, where you're getting all these perks. That's what they're trying to offer digitally through these premium tiers. Digital collectibles and fan badging. So the idea that you're going to have NFTs through this level, and being able to get a badge that I guess either in your Spotify profile or maybe even on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and you'd have a badge that shows that you are a Billie Eilish superfan and makes you a member of that tribe. Gamification of fan experience. And I'm going to do another podcast about this. This is rather new to me, but apparently there is already a thing where they have treasure hunts and some kind of games involved between an artist and the listeners that involves the listeners in some kind of interactive competition of some type. I don't know for sure. I will look into this a little bit more for you and talk about it in the future. Access to artists. So the idea that if you are a high-tier member paying superfan, that if Billie Eilish, and I'm just saying that name because it keeps coming to mind, is going to do a live podcast, that only the members of the premium level will be able to watch this live interview and podcast and perhaps performance even, and be able to put questions in the chat and make comments and feel like they're a part of something special. Remixing tools. And this one's a little concerning, but the idea that users, subscribers, will be able to take the music and then remix the music of these artists. And so that brings up a whole lot of questions about who owns the remixes. And there's no proof that the artists are actually getting paid for every time somebody uses their music and remixes it. Is it a performance? Is it mechanical? So there's a lot of questions about how this will benefit the artist by allowing anybody and everybody just to remix their music any way they want to. They might not like it so much. Look what they've done to my song, type thing. A big one is access to concert tickets. And right now, Ticketmaster is in negotiations with Spotify and a bunch of other companies. And so the idea is that you're a premium member and you have early access to concert tickets. And if you are a super fan of course, Taylor Swift, that could mean a lot and people will pay extra. Matter of fact, I'm curious if there will be like a premium level and then a super premium level, which usually follows a premium level, in which people will pay even extra to be part of the Taylor Swift Superfan Club, in which they would get early access to tickets. And then how many tickets can they buy? And do scalpers, by paying the $18 a month, have access to a bunch of tickets that they can then purchase and scalp? I don't know how that's going to work. There are some questions around all of this. The first is that superfans may have super expectations. Many artists and their marketing teams already are feeling stretched with the task of creating music and content for the existing social media and streaming services, serving their superfans with exclusive content and or across on top of that is a job that shouldn't be underestimated. And if artists and their teams struggle with that, there's a risk of a fan backlash if the fans who are paying extra aren't getting these extra value perks that they are paying extra for. Second, there's a risk that superfans are simply seen as cash cows to be milked, and that these apps and platforms focus too much on commerce and not enough on community. But Goldman Sachs reported last year that superfans are a $4.2 billion revenue opportunity for the music industry. And this has put dollar signs in the eyes of many people within the music business. But seeing fans purely in consumption and revenue terms could also do more harm than good. So there are a lot of questions here. And I guess as time goes on and these things begin to roll out, we will have a better idea of one thing. If we can actually get a good look at how much of the royalties makes it to the copyright owners, the writers, the songwriters, the artists. The other question is, where's Sony in all this? Sony, and I could probably maybe do another podcast about this. Sony created their PlayStation Music channel. So they sort of have their own exclusive music channel going through all the PlayStations that everybody has purchased. And I'll have to do a little bit more digging about that. But anyway, for all of you out there who are thinking about becoming super fans of my channel, feel free to not pay me anything like you've been doing. I'm going to charge you extra nothing. So please keep subscribing and follow and share these little tidbits about the music industry. Thanks for watching.